Hello, my name is Frank Christensen and I'm the coordinator of officials for IFAF in Europe. This is the last of 3 training tapes dealing with offensive pass interference. Today we're looking at the push-off variety. So we'll have a look at some different examples and typically they happen right before the ball gets there, so we'll look at some timing, but also some types of contact that happens there. But before we get to the game film, let's have a look to see what the rulebook and the MOFO have to say on this topic. In the rulebook, we go to 738 offensive pass interference. B. Offensive pass interference is contact by a Team A player beyond the neutral zone that interferes with a Team B player during a legal forward pass play in which the forward pass crosses the neutral zone. It is the responsibility of the offensive player to avoid the opponents. It is not pass interference. 1. When after the snap, Team A ineligible player immediately charges and contacts an opponent at a point not more than 1 yard beyond the neutral zone and maintains the contact for no more than 3 yards beyond the neutral zone. 2. When 2 or more eligible players are making a simultaneous and bona fide attempt to reach, catch, or bat the pass. Eligible players of either team have equal rights to the ball. 3. When the pass is in flight and 2 or more eligible players are in the area where they might receive or intercept the pass, and an offensive player in that area impedes an opponent and the pass is not catchable. In the MOFO, we go to 339 offensive pass interference. A. Actions that constitute offensive pass interference include 1. Pushing off. Initiating contact with a defender by shoving or pushing off, thus creating a separation in an attempt to catch a pass. 2. Driving through. Driving through a defender who has established a position in the field. 3. Blocking. Before the pass is thrown, blocking that occurs anywhere downfield. After the pass is thrown, blocking that occurs downfield within approximately 20 yards, more if the pass is delayed, of where the pass is thrown to. 4. Pick. Picking off, initiating contact with a defender who is attempting to cover a receiver. It is not a foul if the contact occurred at the same time as the pass was touched. B. Actions that do not constitute offensive pass interference include 1. Incidental contact by a receiver's hands, arms, or body in the act of moving to the ball that does not materially affect the route of the defender. If in doubt as to whether the route was materially affected, there is no pass interference. 2. Inadvertent tangling of feet when both or neither players are playing the ball. 3. Contact occurring during a pass that is clearly uncatchable by the involved players. 4. Blocking downfield when a screen pass or short pass to a receiver who has blockers in front of him prevents a defensive player from catching the ball. 5. Blocking downfield when the pass is legally grounded out of bounds or near the sideline. 6. Contact on a pick play when the defensive player is already blocking the offensive player. 7. Contact on a Hail Mary pass unless it is clear and conspicuous pass interference. C. Further notes. 1. Non-flagrant contact well away from the play should not be called. 2. Blocking downfield can be called even if the passer is legally grounding the ball. 3. Do not call pass interference if either foot of the Team A ineligible player is within 1 yard of the neutral zone. And finally, 4. If in doubt as to which player initiated a block, the initiator will be the one who is upright or leaning forward, and the player blocked will be knocked back. And that was the book. Now let's have a look at some game film. We have 6 plays to look at in this training tape, and the first 2 are going to be legal plays. We're looking at the receiver closest to the camera here down at the bottom. and there just isn't really any push-off. Even though the cornerback falls down, it's not because he's pushed by the receiver. So even though it looks suspicious when when the cornerback falls down like this is really just a legal play by the receiver. On this legal play, we're looking at the slot back away from the camera across the field, and even though this is not a typical push-off situation, it is the receiver going downfield, initiating contact with in this case, the safety. But here, I think the ball gets there right there before the contact, and so it's legal in that sense, and even if it had been a little closer, it would still be a bang bang. But I think here the ball gets there right there, and the contact hasn't been made yet. So another legal play and good no call. On the next two play, we're getting further into the gray zone or the gray area, but we're still not quite there. So first, let's have a look at the slot back here, and he actually does make a clear push off there, but it ends up not having any effect on the play. Now, typically for push-offs, they happen right before the ball gets there, and in this situation, I think the quarterback is already looking deep. So since it has no impact on the play, I'm okay with not calling it. Now, for the deep officials, or for the deep players here, they are feeling each other out. We've got that arm extended, which is an indicator for us, or a break in the hand. However, I don't think there's any real separation. For push-off, we're typically looking at the defender and especially his upper body. So we're looking at B47 here, but there's no real push of his upper body. He doesn't get his feet doesn't get taken away. Or he doesn't lose his feet. So they're just kind of feeling where each other are, and that is not a foul. So even though there's a contact here, it's marginal, but I think this is a good no call. On this play, we're looking at the inside trips receiver here, and there certainly is a brick in the hand. We do have, number 3, he puts his arms out right there, and he tries to create contact, or he does create contact. He tries to create separation. He doesn't really succeed. I mean, it doesn't look like the defender really loses a step. He's still very close to where the action is, or where the receiver is. So there's no real separation. And the other thing here is, right when the contact is made, if we look at the quarterback, he's already throwing the ball to another receiver, so it doesn't really have an impact on the play either. So it doesn't have an impact on himself getting open, and it doesn't have an impact on the pass or the reception. So technically, probably push off, marginal. I think we can leave this one alone, and we'll see in the next two plays what we cannot leave alone. On this play, the receiver closest to the camera here, 821, pushes off enough that we should have had this called. So let's have a look here. He comes up, does a little push off, and then goes out for the pass. Now this is it's a typical situation here where he pushes off, he cuts, and here comes the ball. So that's typically the timing of a typical push off. Now, I wouldn't necessarily expect the wing to be able to see this. He may be flatlined and not able to see that separation and how the cornerback loses a step backwards because of the separation. But the deep wing, who's looking at this couple of players all the way, should have a good angle at it, should be able to see this. So this really is up to the deep wing to call. Now the last thing is we've got excellent coverage on the sideline here. We wouldn't necessarily want the back judge to be in on this call, because if the ball is bobbled at all here, causing this to be an incomplete, then the back judge wouldn't be able to see that. So we'd be better off without the back judge signaling here, because we run the risk of an inadvertent touchdown signal. Just like on the previous play, on this last play here in the video, we can tell we're looking at the receiver far away from the camera, and on a push-off we can typically tell on the player who's getting pushed off. Here, you know, the push doesn't have to be very big, but here, you know, right there is the push, and that's probably what prevents the interception. And you can tell by the defender is getting pushed off balance, and that's why he can't catch the ball. So typically a push-off will happen right before the ball gets there, and typically you'll be able to see on the defender that he either loses his balance or loses a step, and that's how you can recognize that a flag is warranted, like it wasn't in this case, where we should have had a flag for offensive pass interference. And that was the training tape for offensive pass interference push-off. I hope you found something you can use on the field.